Good afternoon and welcome to our show, The Tech Boys, where every week we analyze the power and downfalls of technology. I am Jared Ratner.
And I'm Nicholas Braverman.
And today we will be discussing Alone Together by Sherry Turkle and the underlying theme of technology and disconnectedness.
Alone Together was published in 2011 and explores technology's effects on how humans interact with one another. Turkle's exploration of technology reveals countless observations of its true relationship with humans.
While the entire book is extraordinarily interesting and we recommend that you check it out, today we will be focusing on the introduction in chapters 3, 10, and 12.
Starting off with the introduction of the book, technology, Turkle claims, is the architect of our intimacies. These technologies are enticing, but there is a downside to this illusion. For instance, she cites a story of a girl who texts her friend to get her attention even though they're in the same room. By avoiding personal interactions in favor of virtual ones, the sense of disconnection and isolation due to technology becomes present in our society. The book also asks how we got to this place and whether we are content to be here. In exploring this topic, the book causes readers to reevaluate their personal opinions on technology.
At the New York Museum of Natural History, Turkle's young daughter Rebecca comments that they should have used robots for the Galapagos turtles rather than imprisoning living creatures. Many other kids agree. This along with a book by artificial intelligence expert David Levy on the potential of romantic companionship with robots, unsettles Turkle. She is worried that in interacting with inanimate objects as if they were alive could leave us diminished.
In the prologue, Turkle introduces one central motive, the fact that technology tends to meet our vulnerabilities rather than our needs. Turkle highlights many points supportive of her central worry of how seductive new technology is and how it could affect our culture. She worries robots and network life are facilitating a kind of emotional dumbing down, a willful turning away from the complexities of human partnerships where the inauthentic becomes the new aesthetic.
Moving on, Chapter 3 is titled True Companions and deals with a robotic dog called Aibo, which was introduced by Sony in 1999 and is capable of learning new tricks and expressing emotions. Although this tech appeared new and exciting, Aibo soon concerned us when, for example, Turkle introduces that there are a couple of teenage boys who care for their Aibo as if they were real pets. Turkle claims that we cheapen relationships when we cheapen communication to this baseline. Alterity, the ability to see the world through the eyes of another, is lacking in such relationships. Because the robot is not alive, it becomes a self-object, something that occurs when another person is unhealthily experienced as part of oneself. And Turkle argues that the robotic movement could proliferate narcissism and lead to hollow, unfulfilling relationships.
Turkle goes on to study other ways children think and interact with Aibo. One girl says that Aibo is easier than pets in some ways because she can just turn it off, whereas real pets might beg for attention when she doesn't feel like giving it. Turkle causes attachment without responsibility. She uses two examples of children, Henry and Tamara, who both play with Aibo aggressively, to show that Aibo can cause children inner turmoil and anger. In these instances, Aibo causes children to build unhealthy and unacceptable relationships.
Moving forward, Chapter 10 is titled No Need to Call. Turkle interviews many teenagers who prefer texting to calling and discusses how the popularity of texting has led to a loss of quality in interactions.
For example, Turkle reveals how individuals such as 17-year-old Elaine prefer texting to calling since it gives her more time to construct her thoughts. In doing so, Elaine is able to portray herself as whatever she wants to be, whereas over a call or in in-person conversations, Elaine's thoughts would be created on the spot and therefore be less refined.
This creates a culture where individuals exude a persona that may not be who they truly are. This notion is further developed when Turkle discusses a 16-year-old named Audrey. Audrey spends all day taking pictures to post on Facebook and implies that her profile is a more real representation of how she sees herself versus her actual self. Social media posts such as these can also set unrealistic expectations and create feelings of inadequacy and low self-esteem. Everyone attempts to outdo each other and put out unrealistic personas, which results in a system that is detrimental as a whole.
Later on in the novel, in Chapter 12, titled True Confessions, analyzes the true meaning of online confessions and what they mean to the individuals involved.
She contemplates if the consolation and acceptance one might feel by posting these confessions online is genuine or not. Online confessions are similar to robot companions in that each takes as its premise the notion that you could deal with feelings without dealing directly with a person.
Turkle discusses a woman named Cheryl who makes online confessions but does not go to make amends. She goes online to feel better, not to make things right. Turkle worries that as online confessions progress, there will be a blur of the line between confessions and apologies. It is much easier to confess something anonymously online than to actually apologize to a person. And Turkle believes that there is a cheapening of interactions and relationships when you can deal with feelings without dealing with a person.
Overall, Turkle stresses the point that although technology undoubtedly makes our lives easier, it ultimately disconnects and isolates humans from society, and that we should review the advancement of technology from a cautionary standpoint.
So that's all for today. We are the Tech Boys signing off.